Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo from the song Get the Funk Out from Extreme. Now arguably the most challenging part of this solo is also the part that draws most people to it, and I'm talking about the string skipping finger tapping part. And I know certainly when I learned it for the first time I was pretty challenged by it, but if you practice it slowly you'll get it down eventually. And what I'm going to do in this video first is I'm going to play the entire solo for you slowly with the tabs on the screen. That way the more advanced players can get through this more quickly. Then after that we'll break it down note by note for everyone else. Now I also want to mention before we get started, this is really important, for this song your guitar is tuned down 1/2 step. So E becomes E flat, A becomes A flat, D becomes D flat, etc. I think you know the drill. Alright, let's jump on into it. Alright, here's section 1 at normal and then slow speed. Okay, we're going to break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first one we do this. Slowly. So we start with the classic little double stop type movement here. 17 of G, 18 of B. You're going to bend up that 17th fret note and hold it. Then you're going to play those 2 notes again, 17 G, 18 B, together. But this time, don't hold it, just bend up quickly. And then at the top, you're going to hit 18 again. So far. Then you're going to play 17 of G, bend up a full step, 18 of B, and do that again. Let's play what we have so far, and notice how I let all the notes kind of blend. Then after that, we're going to play 17 of G, bend up and down, pull off to 15. 17 of D, 15 G, hammer on to 17. Let's play that first box again, slowly. Then in the second box, we'll play this. So it's 17 of G, bend up and down, pull off to 15. And then 17 of D, 15 of G twice. 17, 15, D. So far in that second box. Then we play 15 of high E, 15 of B. Now making that leap all the way up to the 15th fret of the high E from the 15th of D that we played a second ago can be really tricky to do it at the right speed, right? When I slow it down, watch this. Now try to play that at regular speed. It's pretty tricky. So what I do is, instead of rapidly moving my finger from the D string to the E string, I just bar my finger across the 15th fret all the way down. Okay, watch slowly. And then finally, 18th fret of the B string, bend up, give it a full wide vibrato. Now let's play that second box slowly. Now let's tie both of those boxes together so we can play section 1 all the way through, first slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 2. Here's section 2 at normal and then slow speed. So we'll break it up into 3 boxes, and in the first we play slowly. So what you're doing is, first what I do is I bar my index finger across the 15th fret of the high E and B strings to begin with, and then we're going to play 15 of high E, then 18 of B, pull off to 15. Now what I do is, instead of alternate picking between those two strings, I do it all with one up motion, kind of like a sweep, right? So watch, I'm going to up pick both of those strings. Right? To me, that's much more efficient than trying to do the alternate picking, but you certainly can. And then the next note is 18th fret G string with a downstroke. Slowly, those first 4 notes. You play that 3 times. Now what you could do to simplify things is, instead of picking the 18th fret of the B string, just hammer onto it out of nowhere and then pull off to 15. You can do that and cheat a little bit. I mean, and don't feel bad about doing that either. I mean, I've seen Michael Schenker and Eddie Van Halen do that plenty of times over the years. And it's definitely an efficient way of doing things. Again, here's that first box slowly. And the second box is the same thing. So basically you're playing that movement 6 times between those first 2 boxes. And then finally in the third box we play slowly. So again, we've got that movement. So it's 15 of high E, 18 of B, pull off to 15, 18 of G. And then 15 of B, and then quickly pull from 18 of G to 15. Wide vibrato. So far in that third box, slowly. And then, well, one thing I want to call out is, in the record, or in the original recording, you can hear Nuno slide that 15th fret G string with the wide vibrato down before the next note. I wouldn't recommend doing that, because it's going to ruin the feel of the next note. Now you might be saying, well, why not just do that 15th fret slide down before doing the 8th fret slide into the note? And you can certainly try to do that, but you're going to ruin the feel of that 8th fret sliding note, right? Because the next note you're going to slide down into the 8th fret of D. So now try to slide down from 15 of G and then do that 8th fret of D note. But do it in the right speed, right? You can certainly do that, but if you listen closely to the original, Nuno spliced those 2 sections together, right? Where he slides down to the 8th fret, that's starting the finger tapping you're going to see in a second here. It's really starting that section. So Nuno had spliced that together, so it just feels more natural if you don't try to do the slide down at the 15th fret. Okay, I'll shut up on that. Here's that third box again, slowly. Now let's tie all 3 boxes together and play section 2 one more time slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 3. Section 3 starts the finger tapping off, And I'm going to show you both the way that Nuno plays it on the record and a simplified way that I see a lot of people do it. In fact, there's an interview with Nuno Bettencourt out there on YouTube you can find where he's being interviewed by, it sounds like a French guitar program, and he tries to show you how to play the solo, and he plays it a little bit differently than the record, because I think what happens is live, he's thinking about the chords he's playing over and the shape, and he's just kind of going with it. All right, so you can play it either way, you should be fine. So first I'll play it for you at normal speed, and then I'll play it at slow speed, and then of course we'll break it down note by note. Now we're going to break this up into 4 boxes, and first thing I want to call out is I know that this section can be very difficult to play super clean, okay? And I try to pride myself on playing as clean as possible, but with this part, it's really tricky. In fact, go back and listen to that Nuno Bettencourt interview that I'm talking about where he performs the solo without backing instruments, and you can hear there's a lot of string noise, okay? Even with Nuno. But once you blend it in with other instruments or play it live, most people aren't going to hear that, and it's going to sound just fine. So don't get hung up on that if it sounds like too much string noise is coming through. All right, so the first part, slowly, the first box goes like this. So it's finger tap onto the 15th fret of D, pull off to 8, hammer on to 10, and then finger tap onto 15 of G, pull off to 7, hammer on to 10. So far. Now, for the first 2 finger taps that you just heard, I pull off the tap up, okay? Right, because when you finger tap, you can tap pulling off up or tap pulling off down, right? For example, watch when I do 15 on D, pull off to 8, hammer on to 10. See how I'm tapping and pulling up off the string? You can tap down like this. See the difference? Again, for those first 2 15th fret taps on the D and the G string, I pull up the tap off. For all the rest of the taps, I pull the tap off down. For some reason, that's what I do, and it just feels most comfortable for me, but you can figure out what works best for you. Okay, so after we play those first 6 notes, then we're going to tap onto the 13th fret of the high E, pull off to 6, hammer on to 10, and then 13 of E again, finger tap, pull off to 10, pull off to 6. Okay? Let's tie all that together and play the first section, the first box, one more time, slowly. Now here's the second box, slowly. So we start by hammering onto the 10th fret of the G string without picking it, and then finger tap onto the 15th fret, pull off to 10, pull off to 7. So far, those first 4 notes in the second box. And then we're going to hammer onto the 8th fret of D without picking it, and then finger tap at 15, pull off to 8, hammer on to 10, and then finger tap onto 17 of D, pull off to 10, slide to 12. Let's play what we have in that second box slowly. Now in the third box, we're going to play this slowly. So what we're doing is we're tapping onto 17 of G, pulling off to 9, and then we're hammering onto the 12th fret of the D without picking it. Okay? We do that twice. Now, sometimes you'll see this tabbed where people will hammer onto the 12th of G instead, like this. You can certainly do that if it's easier. A lot of people won't know the difference, but on the original recording, Nuno tapped onto the 12th fret of D. Also, I've seen people tab it and play it where instead of 12 of D, they're pulling off from 9 of G to 7 of G like this. But that's a really awkward place to get from what you just did a second ago, so I wouldn't do it that way. I'd do it the right way. And then we're going to finger tap onto 15 of high E, pull off to 8, hammer on to 12. And then finger tap on 15 again, pull off to 12, pull off to 8. Let's play that third box slowly. And then finally in that fourth box, we play. So we're going to hammer on to 12 of G without picking it. And then finger tap on 17, pull off to 12, pull off to 9. Here's those first 4 notes in the fourth box. And then finger tap on 17 of D, pull off to 10, hammer on to 12. And then finger tap on 17 again, pull off to 10, slide to 13. Okay. Let's play that fourth box again slowly. Now let's tie all 4 boxes together and play section 3 slowly and then at normal speed. Now I'm going to play the easy, the simplified way of section 3 that I see a lot of people do. It's simpler, most people aren't going to know the difference, and it's up to you which one you want to use, the accurate way or the simplified way. Now, I'm not going to walk you through all the notes I just did. If you're tackling this solo, you can certainly read the tabs and listen back and see what I did there. Again, that's a simplified, easier way of doing it. Most people won't know the difference if you do it that way. But again, if you want to play it like Nuno, do it the other way. All right, let's move on to section 4. Here's section 4 at normal and then slow speed. Now again, don't get too hung up on it if some finger noise comes through. It happens even with Nuno, like I said. But once you blend it in with other instruments, add effects, you're going to sound fine. So the first box, slowly, is going to go like this. So it's 20th fret finger tap on D, pull off to 13, hammer to 15. And then finger tap on 20 of G, pull off to 12, hammer to 15. So far. And then finger tap on 18 of high E, pull off to 11, hammer on to 15. And then finger tap on 18 again, pull off to 15, pull off to 11. So far in the first box. And then we're going to hammer on to the 15 of G without picking it. And then 20 of G, pull off to 15, pull off to 12. Okay. And then hammer on to 13 of D without picking. Okay, let's tie everything together in that first box and play it slowly. Now the second box, you play the same exact thing. So let's tie the 2 boxes together and play section 4 again, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 5. Here's section 5 at normal and then slow speed. Once again, we'll break it up into 2 boxes, and here's the first one slowly. So we're finger tapping on 22 of D, pull off to 15, hammer on to 17. And then hammer on, or finger tap on 22 of G, pull off to 14, hammer to 17. So far. And then finger tap on 20 of high E, pull off to 13, hammer on to 17. And then finger tap on 20 of high E, pull off to 17, pull off to 13. So far in box 1, slowly. And then we're going to hammer on to 17 of G without picking it. And then finger tap on 22 of G, pull off to 17, pull off to 14. And then you're going to hammer on to 15 of D without picking it. All right, let's play that first box slowly. And then we're going to start very similarly in the second box. Here's the second box slowly. So we start very similarly to the first box, right? The first 6 plus notes. So it's 22 of D, finger tap, pull off to 15, hammer on to 17. And then 22 of G, finger tap, pull off to 14, hammer on to 17. Okay, so far in that second box. Now here's where we switch things up a little bit. After you finger tap on the 20th fret of high E, you're going to pull off to 17, pull off to 13. Slowly so far, those first 9 notes in the second box. Now I find myself oftentimes, instead of doing 20, 17, 13, I'll do 20, 13, 17. It just feels more natural, right? So it would be like this. I find myself doing that naturally. It's going by so quick, guys, most people aren't going to know the difference. Then after that, and I see people do this a lot of different ways, you're going to finger tap on to 21 of high E, pull off to 19, and then finger tap on 22, pull off to 20, and then do that again. Again, 21, pull off to 19, 22 to 20, 22 to 20. And then finally, finger tap on 22 of high E. Okay? I see people do that a lot of different ways. Oftentimes, they miss the 21 and 19. Now, ultimately, you really just want to focus on getting up to that 22nd fret. Okay, so what a lot of people do is instead of tapping onto 21 and pulling off to 19, they'll just tap onto 22 and pull off to 23 times. It goes by so quickly, most people won't know. Let's play that second box again, slowly. Now let's tie those two boxes together and play section 5 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, if you've gotten this far, the rest should be a bit of a breeze, relatively speaking. So breathe a sigh of relief and let's move on to section 6. Here's section 6 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break that up into 4 boxes, and in the first one we'll play. So it's 18 of high E 3 times, and then 12 of high E, and then play that again. All right, here's that first box. Then in the second box we'll play slowly. So it's 18 of high E 3 times, and then 12. And then 18 2 more times. And then we're going to play 15 of high E, hammer to 18, pull off to 15, pull off to 12. Okay? And then after that, in the third box, we'll play. So it's 15, 18, 15, 12 on high E. And then 18B, 15, 12 E, 18B. Again. And then the fourth box, so it's 15B, 12E, 18, 15B. And then on the B string, 12, 18, 15, 12. All right, here's that fourth box again. Now, a lot of times people will try to cram all this up in that 15th fret position, right? So they start with, etc. You can certainly do that if it's more comfortable for you, but if you watch Nuno, he does the wide stretch, and it looks cooler. Bonus points for looking cooler. That's an 80s thing, right? All right, let's tie those 4 sections together and play section 6 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. let's move on to section 7. All right, here's section 7 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break it up into 4 boxes, and in the first one we'll play this slowly. So it's 12 of G, 13 of B, 12 of G twice, and then 11 of G, 13 of B, 11 of G twice. Now, throughout this, where you're playing that off that 13th fret of B, you're always using your index finger for the note on the G string. Just keep that in mind, okay? So again, the 12th fret of G and the 11th fret of G are both using index finger, all right? And then the second box will go 10th fret of G, 13 of B, 10 of G twice, 11 G, 13 of B, 11 of G twice. Let's tie those 2 boxes together, the first 2, okay? Slowly. Then in the third box, we'll play. So it's 12 of G, 13 of B, 12 of G twice, 11 of G, 13 of B, 11 of G. Then you slide up to get ready for the next part. Let's tie the first 3 boxes together. Again, every note on the G string is going to be using your index finger. And in the fourth box, slowly. So it's 17 of G, bend up a full step. And then 15 of B, 18 of B, pull off to 15. 18 of G. So far in that fourth box. And then 15 of high E, 18 of B, pull off to 15. 18, 17, 15 on G. Let's play that fourth box slowly. Now remember in the third box when you played that 11th fret G for the last time and I said you slide up to get ready for the fourth box? What I find myself often doing is instead of sliding up from that 11th fret, I'm just sliding up with my ring finger, which I'm going to use for the 17th fret, right? So let me combine the third and fourth boxes and show you what I mean. As opposed to. Feels more natural that way. Most people won't know the difference. Now let's tie those 4 boxes together and play section 7 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 8. Here's section 8 at normal and then slow speed. Now let's break that up into 3 boxes, and in the first one we play slowly. So it's 17 of G, bend up a full step, and then 18 of B. Do that again. So far. And then 17 of G, bend up and down, pull off to 15. And then 17, 15 G. So far. Then we do a 17th fret G string bend again, but we go up 2 steps, so it's going from here to here. And then 15 of G wide vibrato. Let's play that first box slowly. Then in the second box, slowly. So it's 15 of G, and then 17 of G, pull off to 15. 17D, 15G. So far in the second box. and then 18 of G, 17 of D, 15 of G. Notice how I say you should palm mute 17 of D? It goes by so quickly most people won't notice the difference, okay? And then 17 of G. Let's play that second box slowly. Then in the third box, this is the fun part. Slowly. So it's 18 of G, and then on the B string, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then on the E string, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now, notice how choppy and staccato it sounds. The way you accomplish this, the best way I can explain it, that is think about how you do a pinch harmonic and how you get your thumb caught with the note to make the pinch harmonic sound. You're getting your thumb caught, but not to make a pinch harmonic. It's really more to make it kind of choppy and to make the note not ring out. And it's all downstrokes. You're kind of digging into that too with your pick hand. It's the best way I can explain it. And then 18 of high E, 2 more times, second time add vibrato. So far in the second box. And then finally you're going to rake up to the 20th fret of high E, bend up, wide vibrato. Here's that third box again, slowly. All right, let's tie those 3 boxes together and play section 8 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to the final section, section 9. Here's section 9 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break that up into 2 boxes, and in the first one we play. So you're going to slide up to 17 of B, then play 15, 18 E, 17 B, and then 15, 18 high E, 18 B, slide down. All right? A lot of people miss that slide down, but if you listen closely in the original, you'll hear it. And then in the second box, slowly. So we start with 18, 15 on E and then 18, 15 on B. And I want to call out that one thing that made this part easier for me is starting with an upstroke as opposed to a downstroke, which is how I used to do it. And then I figured when I start with an upstroke, it's a little more efficient. You'll find that you're not having to skip over strings before you pick them more often. It's more efficient. I wouldn't call it economy picking. It's not that technique per se, but it's more economical. Okay, so again, 18, 15 E, 18, 15 B, and then 18, 17, 15 on G. So far in the second box. Then 17 D, 15 G. So far. Then 17, 18, 17, 15 on G. Add wide vibrato, play the note again, slide down. Here's that second box slowly. Okay, let's tie those 2 boxes together and play section 9 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Alright, that was my video showing you how to play the guitar solo from Extreme's Get the Funk Out. If you found it helpful or informative, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already and you want to catch more videos like this in the future. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and I will attempt to answer them as time allows. Until next time, rock on.